what the children said, how he used to interact with his family. Actually, it was a very great moment why he interacted with the family, because according to many of people who are talking here, they are saying that this man of God used to enjoy life. He loved to enjoy life and he loved his family. Now, before we go directly into these children to hear what the testimony that they had with their father, that is Bishop Allan Kiuna, I want to ask you one question. How do you relate with your family, your children, and your wife? How do you relate with them? Let us listen to hear from this.
I've spoken about Dad a lot, but today this is the hardest message I'll have to give about my dad. Because how do you give a tribute to the most important person to you in 2 minutes? How do you summarize such a great man in a short span of time? How do you convey such great love to people without breaking down? How do you convey all his teachings in my life in a few minutes? I pray God gives me the grace to be able to do it. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. Auntie, Mom, thank you for putting this together for Dad. He is smiling and crying simultaneously. Dad was very big on emotions. It is such an honor. To the first and second lady who've been here for us, thank you so much for honoring Dad as Bishop Allan Kiuna, as a person and not as a figure. We appreciate that as a family. For the message we got, Bishop, thank you for making us laugh, because laughter is so important in times of pain. I won't be able to make you laugh, I don't think. I don't have the strength to. But I pray for my mother more than anyone at this moment. We're hurting as his kids, but we grew up seeing the love. You saw it later. That's all we've ever seen. The love they have had for each other is not for show, it's not for you, it's for them. And to lose a love so big, I can't comprehend. But we're here, Mom, and we will carry on loving you as fiercely as he did in our capacity as your children. A while ago, I was sitting in the kitchen with Pastor Andrew, and he asked me, how do you, as his biological children, deal with so many people calling your parents mom and dad? And as we stand here, I know a lot of you are grieving for them in that same way, but I told him very easily, it was never hard to share him, because Dad never ever made us feel like second class. Despite his love for everyone else, it was very clear who we were as his kids. Dad would stop any meeting with anybody at the drop of a hat if we needed him. Without question, Dad was my dad. And he showed us he had enough love for us and everyone, but his love for us was ours, reserved for us alone. He loved us fiercely, without judgment, without condemnation. He had a thirst for knowledge that only compared to my own. When I picked the career that I picked, he made it his mission to become, he almost became a lawyer like me, just to make sure the conversation stayed on an intellectual level. He taught me to question. He allowed me to question, not only legally, mentally, physically, but spiritually too. He made me find a way to know God on my own, not because I was told to, but because of a father. And if God is our father, Dad displayed his level of fatherhood. And if my dad is a fragment of who God is to us, then I know I have a loving God. It was displayed. I didn't have to learn it. And when so many people call him dad and people are like, why? He was a father to everyone, and we accept that. So thank you for giving us your time, your attention, for everyone who came, who flew, who's from here. I thank you for honoring the man that he was. Was such a weird statement. But I'm happy that as he is now finally resting from the battle that he has gone through, he is at peace. And we know where he is, and we know we'll meet him again. And on behalf of my sister, his twin, she also loved him very fiercely. I speak for both the girls, only because Jeremy's going to come and speak for himself. I speak for both the girls, and I know she would have said he was a fantastic dad, a fantastic father-in-law, an even better grandfather, which is so hard because he was such a great dad. We didn't think it was possible for him to get better until he got his grandkids, and just watching them engage with him was such an honor. I'm so blessed that he got to meet the kids and be part of their lives. Again, I could go on and on, because again, how do you sum the life of a great man in a few minutes? But I will, for now. Dad, I love you. I wish you didn't go, but I know you had to. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Andrew. Yeah. Bwana asifiwe. Bwana asifiwe. The first person, obviously, I wanted to give thanks to is Jesus, God, our Savior. You know, I sit here and I feel like I'm not alone, you know? Like, I feel like He's right here with me. And, you know, I was telling my mom, like, it's so funny, because it's like when he went to be with the Lord, it's like I wanted to know what love like that was for Jesus, because he loved God so much. And I want to say this, because I spent time with him in America for a whole year. Not one day did he ever complain. He said, Jay, always give thanks to Jesus and always give thanks to God. No matter what happens, always give it to God. So that's going to be my first thing. Secondly, I want to say to Mom Teresia, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You have not just loved me and my family, but even me individually. You know, you call me your boyfriend. And me individually, you've just loved me so much. And I cannot say thank you enough. And my father is so honored to have a mother like you. You know, the main person I was trying to even like figure out what to say was my mother. Mom, you are my superhero. You are my superwoman. You are everything God has asked you for. You know, I think about it this way, you know. Guys, I'm single, by the way, so, you know, if there's a wife that's coming, you know, I think about it this way. You know, God has really shown me an example of what a woman is. And like Vanessa said, there's not a day that we saw them fight. There's not a day that we saw them argue. They were just so in love. Not just with each other, but with God. And I'm so grateful that you're my mother. I'm so grateful that we have you. Because you are the foundation of everything. He might have started everything, but you held everything together. And I want you to know that. And he knows that. And there's something I'd like to say, you know, about my dad. Man, an old man. You know, last night I was thinking, I was like, what can I say about such a great man, you know, without like crying or breaking down? And the Holy Spirit just told me, just be yourself. Because that's exactly who my dad taught me to be me. You know, a lot of people had questions when I got dreads. And I remember there was a time, there was a whole conspiracy about like how it was. And my dad stood there and he supported me and was like, Jay, I love them just as much as I love you. Because he always picked me to be myself. And he never taught me to be anyone else. And a father like that is so amazing. And you know, dad, man, to my father, I'll keep my promise to you. He told me, Jay, I have a plan for you. As long as you can keep the plan, I'm good. And I remember when I was, my dad was my best friend, so I remember when I was 9 years old, and I and I started liking girls, right? I'm telling a funny story, so you guys laugh. And I started liking girls, right? And I went to my father, and he was like, and I was like, Dad, so I have this girl, I really like her, and I don't know how she feels about it. And I'm just like, whatever. And he said, son, I'm here for you. And my mom was like, who is she? Who is that woman? And you know, like my mom was always the protective one. So my father, from the day one, he really showed me what a best friend is, what a father is. And he was such an amazing, amazing man. And I'm so grateful. You know, a lot of people question because when you have a challenge, people are like, you know, maybe he's challenging and say, but God has blessed me with such an amazing life. And I'm so grateful that I had a father like him. I could never ask for another father. I could never go another way. And yeah, so I'm really grateful for him. I'm grateful for everything. And I'm getting my third degree, my master's, for him. Everything is going to be just for him. The same plan he has is the same plan we'll complete. And he left an amazing legacy. And there's no one else I'd rather be honoring than my father. One more thing, Prophet Leslie, I want to tell you that when I was praising, God reminded me of the prophecy that you had. And he said, I want you to remind her that you weren't wrong. Everything you said about him being in the white suit, in all that, in the white and all that, I believe God was welcoming him too. And he's dancing with his favorite person. His favorite person, who he died for, who everything was about, God. And I know that now he's smiling, he's dancing, he's so happy, and he's so complete. And that is all I've ever wanted for him. So.
Thank you.
See, they had a very great life. But the one thing that has made me to laugh because of this young man talking about how he went to tell the father he had a girlfriend while he was 9. Nine, you see, it was very good interaction. Actually, it's good that you interact with your children in the way that they can open to you, and through that, the father gave him a direction. So it's good to understand how to talk with your children so as to ensure that they go to the right way, not to spoil them. Now you see, if you have good interaction with your children, they will be open to you.